And now, as our first keynote speaker, I'd like to call to the stage Maria Harper-Marinick. Maria is the Interim Chancellor of the Maricopa Community Colleges. That's a set of 10 community colleges with about 250,000 students. The exact number keeps varying, but this is one of the largest community college systems in the United States, and actually one of the largest institutions of higher education in the United States as well. Maria is a dynamic leader and a firm believer in career pathways, and I'd like to welcome her to the stage. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Bill. Okay, so they told me I had 20 minutes. I think I'm cutting it to like 10 or 15 because I don't want to be the reason why you are not having a cocktail at 5:30. So I'm on the 5th iteration of what I intended to do, and I'm going to tell you the reason why. If you look at the back of your program, you can read the mission of the GPI, and that is to create an America in which all young people are prepared to lead productive and successful lives. But life happens to young people, and you may or may not know that currently there are 5.5 million youth between the ages of 16 and 24, which is what we know as opportunity youth, and I believe I saw at least 3 bullet points on the PowerPoint making a reference to that. And these are youth who are out of school, not working, and who are obviously facing great barriers to jobs and education. At the same time, there are 3.5 million unfilled jobs. So many of us are doing work to re-engage the youth in education so that they can be employed and have a life that they aspire to have. If you look at what's happening in Maricopa County, I have learned 1 in 5 youth in our county are disconnected. And if you look at South Phoenix, 1 in 3 are disengaged, are opportunity youth. So I think those of you who have heard me speak before, I have said I will never show another number or demographic without showing a photo of a real student, so you make the connection of the kinds of people that we're talking about. But they told me no PowerPoint, so I'm doing better, even though he has a PowerPoint, so I don't know how that happened. So I'm doing better than showing you a picture on a PowerPoint. I have actually a real student, and I am going to introduce you to Alejandro Rojas, who is formerly an opportunity youth, and is now re-engaged, getting training, and getting ready to go into an internship and hopefully get a job. So I totally rearranged so that I can introduce him. He actually needs to run out of here because he has to be at work at 5:30. I may be making him late for work. But I thought it was really important as you start the conference to put a face and a human voice behind all of the numbers that you're going to be hearing between now, today, tomorrow, and Wednesday. So let me introduce Alejandro. He's part of the Year Up program that, if you haven't heard about, there will be a presentation, I believe, tomorrow. And part of what they ask them to do, they train them to be professional and dress professionally and speak. So I told him I would allow some of my time for him so he can speak to you and give you a little bit of what he's doing and who he is and why this is so important for him. Alejandro?
Hello, everyone. My name is Alejandro, and I just want to thank Maria Harper for giving me this opportunity to speak about my story and about Europe, a really good program that helped me get back with college. And because I never thought I was going to go into college, because I didn't graduate on time. I was one of those young adults who wasn't motivated at the time, but I saw the need for me to go to college, and Europe really helped me with that. It helped me make the steps to go to college, because I didn't know how to get to college. So Europe helped me, and through the Mesa Park Library, because I was always trying to find ways to improve myself. So I went to the library, check out what was there that could help me, and I saw a flyer for Europe, and I decided to call them, and that's where my start began. And now I'm right here speaking to all you, speaking to all of you, and about the program and how it changed me. Like, it helped me with soft skills and how to give a presentation, like right now, how to speak in a public area like this, even though I'm very frightened right now, very nervous. But it's good because I'm getting out of my comfort zone. It really helped me with that. And when I was watching the PowerPoint, I saw like a little bit of Europe in there because they do help young individuals like me get career ready, be professional, and
Getting ready to train in coding, right?
yeah, I'm in the track for programming. They're teaching me Java and HTML, and they're preparing me for an internship. They're giving me the technical skills and the soft skills needed to be career ready, to have that business mindset. They're preparing my professional brand, and I'm really thankful for what they're doing, and I'm really thankful. Yeah, I'm really thankful. And
So let's thank you. Yeah. So it was important for me to show you what success looks like when all of us in the community come together to do the work that is important. And now I know that they're waiting for him, and I hope I don't make you too late, so you can go, actually, Alejandro. He has to get to Mesa to work. And Alejandro is also an immigrant, like I am. He's from Mexico. So what I decided to do with the time I have is share a little bit of data to frame the conversation about why we're here and why we need to worry about pathways. And then I decided to look up some good ideas of definitions of when we say the word pathways, what we mean by that, because, you know, words come and go, and words become fashionable, and now everybody, wherever you go, whatever you read, people are talking about pathways, and I'm not convinced that all of us are talking about the same thing, so I have a few ideas on that, and then I'll share a little bit of work of what we're doing in the Maricopa Colleges, and then I'm going to end how I started with quotes from students. And then, Bill, you keep track of time for me. So what we know, why pathways, is that according to the Lumina Foundation, they have a new report out. It's called A Stronger Nation. I don't know how many of you had seen that already. Many of you, if you just basically Google Lumina Foundation, you can see the report. And they say that only 4.9% of Americans hold high-quality post-secondary certificates, and that's including all of the credentialing that many of you work in. And of course, we all know that these certificates that are typically awarded by community colleges or CTE programs or technical colleges have a significant value in the workforce. So I looked up, so what's going on in Arizona? Because that 4.9% is a national figure. So in the state of Arizona, and you may know this, there are 870,928, 870,298 residents between the ages of 25 and 64, they define that as working age, with no degree. And that is close to 26% of the residents within the ages of 25 and 64 have no degree, but have some college credit. So imagine what could happen to the state if all those people re-engaged in some form of post-secondary education to bundle all of those credits and get a degree, the difference that would make in the economy. Of the same population, only 12% of those have a high-quality certificate that they can use to improve their employment. Only 12% of those. Now, if you look at nationally what's happening in what they call the post-secondary attainment, it's actually at 45.3%. And if we look at the rate, what they call the year-over-year increase, what we do know is not going to be sufficient to achieve, in this case, a Lumina Foundation goal of, by 2025, hoping that 60% of Americans hold high-quality post-secondary degrees and certificates. And actually, we are projected to fall short of that number by 10.9 million people if we continue the pace as it is. If nothing changes, by 2025, we will be short of 11 million people that will not be ready to work as they aspire to work, or people like Alejandro. And I think you know the numbers in Arizona. So actually, the post-secondary attainment in the state of Arizona, according to the Lumina Foundation, is better than the national rate. It is 48.8%. 48.8. Then I decided, well, let's look what happens if you disaggregate by ethnicity. And you can guess what the story is. So if you look at what's going on in the state of Arizona, even though the attainment rate is 48.8%, for the Latino, the Hispanic population, is only 17.8. 17.8 is actually the lowest attainment rate. And then I looked up Native American students, because I know we had the tribal summit earlier today, and for Native Americans is 19.5. It's about 33% for African American, and it's about 60% for Asian and Pacific Islander, and that's actually what skews the data up to 48%. So that is the reality for us. And we do know part of the solution, which is what Bill was talking about, is the establishment of guided pathways. So I like to say guided pathways because it's not any pathway that works. It has to be intentional. It has to be clear what students need to do from point A to point B. Punch had to go at 4:30, but he was gracious enough to mention the work that we do with ASU. So many of us think if we were able to get community colleges and in the Maricopa system and Arizona State to put great pathways in place, why are we not doing that work beginning in high school? Because there has never been anything easy to get done between community colleges and universities, but we got it done, so we need to be able to put that work earlier on. So when I use the word pathways, it is a series of structured programs, courses that have rigor, that have high expectations for all students, that involve support services. It's not just about curriculum. That is coherent, that is articulated, and that is extremely clear to the students what they need to do. So that's a typical definition today of guided pathways. Now, pathways should not become good old-fashioned tracking. You know, tracking, we left that behind in the 60s and 70s, so this is not what we're talking about, and many of us are very careful with the language because sometimes you hear people say, oh, as soon as you say in the same sentence pathways and Latino students, people immediately think that what we're trying to say is there's only some paths into the future for some kinds of students, and that's not what this conversation is about, as you're going to know as you move forward the next 2 days. This is about providing opportunity for knowledge, for learning, for the development of skills for all students, beginning with a very strong foundation. So I am a proponent of students in high school should be taking a certain level of courses, and everyone should do that. I'm not a proponent of getting students on a track too early, because sometimes students don't know what they want to do. So I think many of you who know me know that I love to tell stories about my kids, so I will use my daughter this time. It's usually my son, because he's the brilliant, lazy one. So there's a lot of material to talk about, but my lazy boy is actually, I believe, you know, you're never sure, graduating from ASU next week with a degree in mechanical engineering. So, but you know, I'm waiting for the text to tell me, oh no, he missed the deadline to get probably cap and gown. That's what's probably going to happen. So, but I'll use my daughter this time, Gabrielle, because when she was a little girl, she was so much into science, just naturally. She was always trying to make perfume, trying to mix things. There was always a huge mess in the bathroom. colors and things, and it didn't matter what it was. Gabrielle, what are you doing? Oh, I'm making something new. She was very curious and has a very logical mind, so I thought, she's going to be great in science. All of that lasted until, I don't know, about 7th grade. And then all of a sudden, she said, I'm not good in science, I'm not good in math. All of that lasted freshman in high school, sophomore, junior year. Any career, she would say, I'll do anything. I'll be a journalist. I want to be a poet. I want to be something else because I am just not good in science and math. And I wondered what happened to the little girl that used to spend all her time in the bathroom. Well, who knows what happened. Either teachers were not encouraging her or peer pressure, being a girl. Then she had, when she was a junior in high school, a chemistry teacher that somehow reawakened that passion for Gabrielle. So Gabrielle today is completing, as I believe tomorrow is her last day, her first year at she did go out of state, sorry, for the state universities. She's at University of Colorado, Boulder. Guess in what? Biochem engineering with a minor in biomed. The reason why I'm using that is the following. If Gabrielle had been put on a path or track, freshman year, sophomore year, Gabrielle would not be today in a biochem engineering program. Because at that time, she was convinced she couldn't do it, and probably the teachers were convinced too, right? So I am a proponent of a strong foundation for all kids, and then the ability for those kids to look for opportunities. A lot of that will be in CTE. That was a great path for my son, who's now engineering, is because he was taking also CTE courses in high school. And he was making a little bit of money because he became like the guy who could fix computers for the teachers or something like that. So that is what my philosophy is. When I use the word guided pathways, is strong foundation for everybody, and then the branching begins, and that people have an opportunity. At some point, if you need to re-enter because you changed your mind or you somehow discovered you have a new aspiration, that we're never keeping people like Alejandro, right, out of the opportunity for a better life. So that's my definition of pathways. So I went to the National Career Pathways Network. Are you familiar with that? I'm sure some of you are. So I really like what they have to say, so I'm going to read it to you because I think it's a great description of what I believe pathways need to be. So this is what they say. There are two levels, two types of components. One is at the secondary level, and another one at the post-secondary level. So for secondary pathway components, this is what they say. That they should meet state academic standards and grade level expectations. That they should meet high school testing and exit requirements. Should meet post-secondary entry or placement requirements. That they should provide a foundation of knowledge and skills in a chosen career cluster, not just a single career. That's important. And that they provide opportunities for students to earn college credit through dual or concurrent enrollment through articulation agreements. Now, for the post-secondary pathway components, they say that we, that's community colleges and universities, should provide opportunities for all students to earn college credit through dual concurrent enrollment or articulation agreements. So I just happen to know, because I'm in the Maricopa Community Colleges, that just this last year, we had over 17,000 students in high schools in the Valley taking dual enrollment. And that's college credit that can apply to a degree because they need to be by law. So some of them are CTE, some of them are a non-CTE track, but college credit. Many students actually complete high school and they have, if not an associate's degree, through concurrent enrollment, close to that. We have, through Rio Salado, I believe they told me this year when there's college graduation next week, on the 11th, there will be, I forget the number now, but I want to say close to 30 students who are going to get their college diploma before they get their high school diploma. And the only reason for that is our graduation is on the 11th, and the high school graduation will be at the end of the month. So there's many of those. It's the same thing that happens with other partnerships we have with charter schools. That's concurrent enrollment. And that the post-secondary institutions should incorporate in these pathways industry-recognized skills and knowledge in each of the career clusters that we partner for. And that there will be opportunities for placement, that's work, in the chosen career clusters at multiple exit points. So those are the recommendations. The only thing I would do differently if I were to be involved with that network is to strengthen the recommendations for the involvement of business and industry, because I think it falls a little short of what I would like to see, and that is how do we create together work-based opportunities for more students. I know that not everyone has the opportunity for an internship, but I think it's critical to the success of the students, just like Alejandro, who is going to work today, is to have that opportunity to apply their knowledge and their skills sooner than later. So that's important. So let me move fast, and then I'll try to close to the Maricopa Colleges and some of the things that we do and why this is important. So Bill mentioned there's 10 colleges in the system. What you may or may not know is that we serve about 230,000 students in a year, 230,000. 28% of them are Latino students. Last year, it was about 47,000 students in the system were Latino. And the reason why I'm mentioning that is because for Hispanic students in Arizona, community colleges are the institution of choice. There are many reasons for that. One is affordability. Another one is proximity to home. Many of them have to work, take care of parents, take care of kids. And some of them are not academically ready yet for the university level courses, so they started a community college. So what we do is critically important to make sure that we have more Latinos on a path to getting college degrees, post-secondary credentials, and getting the good jobs that we all aspire to. So let me tell you a few things that we're doing. We have 3 populations that we target primarily: high school students, I mentioned some of that, then college students. Many of them are at the college, so we need to make sure they stay focused, they persist, they complete, and then they transfer, which is where many of them need to go to get their bachelor's degrees. And then we work with the students like Alejandro who need to re-engage because for many reasons they are not in school and not working. So that's important work. So we have, we're putting in place developing career pathways system, and this is what we aspire to do, is align to the skills, the needs of industries. We know the importance of support services, so we are including counseling, advising, and other services. We want to make sure that all our pathways have classroom, but also work-based learning. We want to accelerate educational and career advancement, attain industry-recognized credentials, and then assist students to advance within a specific occupation or occupational cluster. And I was going to give you some examples, but I am not going to do that because I'm running out of time. So let me tell you just about one program because of our partners in the tribal communities. We've had in place an early college opportunity for Native American students. It started at Phoenix College, and we call it the Hoop of Learning. And it has been extremely successful. It is early college options for academic preparation. We help also with culture-based courses and opportunities for the students, and that's been important. We make sure that we have counselors who are Native American, and we have teachers who are Native American. And we are, we have, this last year, we had 331 students participating in that program. And they took collectively 1,743 credit hours, and their average GPA was 3.0. Most of those students continue on to the university. So I'm using that one as an example of things that we know work. So as you engage in conversations moving forward, not everything has to be invented or reinvented. There is good work going on in the state of Arizona. Sometimes it's not celebrated enough. Sometimes may not be replicated because we don't have the resources. But it's not lack of ideas, and it's not lack of good work going on in the state. So I'm going to close. I'm going to skip all my pages here because I want to read to you 3 quotes. I'll try to speak fast. From 3 students. We have Hope of Learning. We also have Achieving a College Education, very similar, early college opportunities, all of the support services, basically the implementation of the principles that I shared with you. So this is from one student, Darren. So he said, the program opened so many doors for me and played a major role in helping me be the college student that I am today. The program allowed me to earn enough credits to qualify as a sophomore when he entered the college. Also giving me the opportunity to explore many career fields, sending me to a national convention on engineering, was able to earn, this is very important, $6,000 in scholarship because of the participation. And then at the time he wrote this, he was a second-year student at the University of Arizona, full ride, no cost to the parents. He's an African-American student, as an industrial engineering student, and I just happen to know that he's actually graduating from U of A next week. Another student, Donovan, Native American student, he says, because of the scholarships I received and the support, I will be the first one in my family to graduate from college. I have talked to my parents about one day setting up our own family scholarship to help other kids on the reservation that want to go to college, because once you make it, you must give back to where you came from. And the last student is Lupita, and she says, I have learned personal responsibility for my education and future. It's a lesson that I will always carry with me. And I'm sharing those, again, to humanize the work. That when we put up all of the pie charts, and I told you all the millions, those are actually real people who breathe, who have a heart and have a brain and have a life. So the work that we do at the end of the day does matter because we're changing one life at a time. And let me close with a quote from Jamie Marisotis, who is the head of Lumina Foundation, because he says it better than I could have, and it's a good way to end. It says, our nation will only thrive to the extent that we provide opportunities to the millions of Americans who need them. It is up to all of us, policymakers, employers, educators, community members, to better support those not well served by the current system, including ages 15-24, first-generation students, older working adults, and minority and low-income communities. It must be a concerted effort nationally and at the state level to better support and create pathways to education beyond high school. The United States, and I would say Arizona and all the other states represented, still has a long road ahead to closing attainment gaps for all Americans. So I wish you a great conference. I thank Bill for all the good work he's done and for asking me to speak today. And thank you for being welcoming of Alejandro, who said, that's too many people. And I said, that's exactly what they're training you for, is to come and face your fears and let people hear your voice. Because for people like you, I get up in the morning, I do the work I do. So thank you very much, and I hope you have a great conference.